Time for a part 2. Have you ever wondered what Lantern Corps JJK characters would be in? Well, for this one, I've picked 6 Jujutsu Kaisen villains to give lantern rings to. I just want to clarify that some of these might be a stretch, but I don't want to repeat any Lantern Corps for the characters because most of them could just be rage or fear at face value. Still, tell me if you agree or disagree with where I put these characters. I enjoy reading about your alternatives and opinions in the comments. And make sure you check out my first JJK Lantern Corps video because my art is way better than this one. And also, if it wasn't obvious, these videos are inspired by Needle Mouse Productions on YouTube. The GOAT! Jogo, the man, the myth, the legend. Jogo is a very hot-headed curse. The Lantern Corps we would immediately think of with his personality is the Red Lantern Corps, but as to not make every character in this video either red, yellow, or black lanterns, I'm not choosing that for him. Instead, I'll go in a completely different direction. There are a few instances where Jogo shows his true motives that lie under the destruction of humanity. We hear from him that he believes that the curses are the true humans and should live freely to do as they want like humans do. When we think of it like this, he's kind of the Martin Luther King of the curses, having a dream for curses to take the place of humans and be free. Even releasing Sukuna, knowing that he'd almost certainly just kill him, none of that mattered when he bet it all for the hope of a better future for his kind. This is why I choose for Jogo to be in the Blue Lantern Corps that embodies hope. Even if his goal isn't necessarily peaceful, the hope for a new world is still hope. Hanami is a special kind of curse, who doesn't actually seem to want to spread chaos and death, but to rather protect or retaliate against humans because of how they damage the earth. I'll say that in hindsight after making the drawing, the Lantern Corps that would probably make a lot more sense, or a lot of sense at least, would probably be the White Lanterns who embody life. Hanami is literally all about the life of nature and the subtle moments like Hanami hitting Megami's phone out of his hand instead of the very obvious kill shot that he could have took when first pulled up on the Jujutsu students is an instance of Hanami not really wanting to kill people herself. Hanami's wrath is less because of a rage against humans, but in my opinion, comes from a place of love for nature. This is why I put Hanami in the Pink Lantern Corps of love. Fight back, nigga! Fight back, nigga! Fight back! Mahito the Menace. Mahito is one of, if not the most evil characters in the series, who revels in the death and suffering of people. An easy choice I can see for Mahito would be the Yellow Lantern Corps of Fear because of how he enjoys toying with people and instilling nothing but the worst feelings in people just because he can. Another potential pick I could think of is the Orange Lantern Ring because of how he has an insatiable appetite for making others suffer, pretty much. You can see his constant manipulation of people's souls as a gluttony almost because of how he does it endlessly with no regard to how many people he's using. But the lantern ring that I chose that I think really captures his personality is the Black Lantern Ring that embodies death. Mahito, just like Jogo, believes in cursed spirit supremacy, and in his case, this means that he sees people as nothing but toys to be messed with, and this in most cases means killing or torturing them. Even in DC Comics, 99% of Black Lanterns are basically zombie versions of heroes who've died previously, so in a sense, Mahito would be the Black Hand who turns the people he changes into zombies of the Blackest Night event in the JJK world. Daddy. Toji Fushiguro is up next. Let's get straight to the obvious choices. Red Lanterns is a valid choice because of how his rage against the Zenin clan built him into the monster that he's known to be. A Yellow Lantern Ring is also a good choice because of the fear he spread as the sorcerer hunter that he was known for being. Even a Green Lantern Ring could be plausible because of the same reasons I gave to Maki for potentially having it, being that they don't have any cursed energy in a cursed technique dependent environment, which means that they have to work extra hard on their physicality instead of a superpower. But instead, I chose to go with the Indigo Tribe's Lantern Corps. This Lantern Corps is made up of ne'er-do-wells and malicious fellas who've reformed once putting on the ring. This fits for Toji on that front since he's literally a hired killer and would fit the description of a ne'er-do-well. On top of that, Purple lanterns embody compassion, and I feel like Toji had a softer side under all that hardness that we get to see when he speaks with Megami during Shibuya. Shibuya, not shut up.
Hello, monkeys!
This and the next character's picks were so difficult to choose. Not because I didn't know which emotion they embodied, but because the fact that I don't want to repeat lanterns meant that I had to pick which of these two I should give the yellow or red ring to. Geto, not Kenjaku, became evil after seeing the injustice curse users go through and amassed a following to do the only reasonable thing you would do to someone who does you wrong. Genocide. With his influence, he basically makes non-cursed users worship him while he sees them as nothing but filthy monkeys. This could definitely be a reason to give him a yellow lantern ring, because he subjugates people and rules over them with his cult. But eventually, I chose to give him a red lantern ring. Despite how Geto tries to portray himself as a calm and calculated villain, which he kinda is, but still, underneath all that is a complete disdain for people without cursed energy. His discrimination comes from a hatred for a group of people who happen to be the majority, but his motivations push me to give him the red lantern ring of rage. For the final character in this video, Sukuna is just a bunch of negative energy rolled up into one ball of black air forces. I very much contemplated giving him red, black, yellow, and orange rings all at the same time, but I feel like that would defeat the purpose of picking and choosing individual lantern corps for the characters to go in. I saw a comment on the last video that suggested he could be a black lantern because of how he's described as a natural disaster that just spreads death and destruction. I believe I also saw a comment that said he could be an orange lantern because of his personality and how he just indulges in whatever he wants with an unsatiable hunger for chaos. I also said earlier that I had a hard time picking whether Sukuna or Geto should take either the yellow or red lantern rings, and you can probably assume which I picked from the fact that I gave Geto the red one. But I still see the red ring as a valid choice for Sukuna because he's just chaotic evil with how much he just hates everything that he views as beneath him. But of course, I chose to put Sukuna, the King of Curses, into the Fear Lantern Corps. This is because of how apparent it is that Sukuna is the most feared character in the universe of JJK. The Jujutsu sorcerers want to execute Yuji just for having him inside his body. Any character that interacts with Sukuna is always frozen with fear and has no choice but to do as he says because they know how ruthless he is. I can keep going on and on, but I think there's no question about how much Sukuna belongs in the Yellow Lantern Corps of Fear. And those are my selections for which Lantern Corps JJK villains would align with. I really like how I designed their outfits and the different ways I evolved my art style for each character. I never would have expected my last video to get as much attention as it did, and honestly, I wish it didn't until at least this video came out to show my actual ability to draw, but it made for a great Christmas present when I found out, so still, thanks to anybody who liked it and subscribed from that last video alone. Tell me if I should make a part 3 with more JJK characters like Toto, Hanami, or Mei even, or if I should choose another series to do this concept with like One Piece or Jogo. And again, thanks to anybody who actually watched this video.